Hello and welcome to Taking It to the Dance Floor, which is about me reviewing The Next Step and giving my opinion. And you can give your opinions too about the show. It could be what you thought would happen. So I would love to see that at the end of this video. The subjects we'll be talking about is the studio heads. Things that could have been in The Next Step throughout the seasons, and the previous studio heads that have been at The Next Step for the season so far. So let's get on with the video. So basically the first I'm going to say what I would have wanted to see in season 1 first. Season one, Michelle was the only dancer from Wisconsin, but in season 2, her ex-boyfriend Hunter came to the studio. So what I would have liked to do in season 1, would be if Hunter and Michelle came to the studio together, and then that'd be more of a story, so we get to know Hunter. So yes, that's what I would have wanted to see. Now we're going to be talking about the studio heads, so let's move on. Miss Kate was the studio head and studio owner of The Next Step from season 1 to season 7, because season 7 she had to sell the studio because she didn't think she would be able to have time to run it anymore. So she sold it to the character Nick in season 7. To be honest, Miss Kate was a good studio head because she was always there for her dancers. She was in charge of the choreography. She was in charge of who became dance captain, and she was always there for the team. Her office was always open if ever a dancer needed to talk. So yeah, she was quite an interesting character to see. As the seasons developed, there was more of a personality. But in season 4, when Amanda went to audition for a professional dance tour, because she missed her audition, Miss Kate demoted her to B Troop. Luckily, Riley became the studio head and she gave Amanda a spot on A Troop. But to be honest, I think the reason why Miss Kate done that was because she didn't trust Amanda, and she probably never will trust Amanda, because in season 3 she made her an alternate. Yeah, so I think Miss Kate has always never forgiven Amanda for what she did to the team at Nationals, because she was being undercover as a spy for Elite to make sure The Next Step never made it to Nationals. The next studio head we're going to be talking about is Riley. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't think Riley should have been studio head of The Next Step, because she had no leadership qualities, and she lost the first qualifier for the team, and then she developed romantic feelings for one of the dancers on A Troop called Alfie, and that made James's sister Piper see the whole thing, which means Piper wasn't focusing on her dancing, and Then Riley had to break up with James because of all her relationship drama. So in a way, I don't think that should have happened. I don't think that should have happened in a way, because I don't think she should have been studio head. I'm sure Miss Kate had her options. It couldn't have just been Riley. There must have been other candidates for the role of studio head, so she could have advertised the job more. Yeah, so and because of Riley's relationship drama, the team ended up losing regionals at the end of season 4. So I don't think she should have been studio head of the next step in season 4. Moving on, this will be the last topic. The last topic we are going to be talking about is Michelle and Emily, who became co-studio heads in season 5 to season 7. So basically, Emily and Michelle developed a friendship, but it started up as a rivalry because they both just didn't get on ever since Emily became dance captain. And when Emily returned in season 5 as the studio head, that encouraged Michelle to make her own troupe called TNS West, which focused on hip hop, because the dancers that were cut from Emily's A troupe, they went to Michelle's troupe and they focused more on the hip hop, and Emily formed her troupe, which was called TNS East, which ran out of the new studio, Studio One. Eventually, the two troupes merged and Emily and Michelle became co-studio heads, except they were fired by Miss Kate because Emily knew Michelle had danced on an injury and she did nothing about it. I think what Emily should have done in season 5 when we were all doing a qualifier video just before Rochelle does the qualifier video choreography, she should have said, right, you can't do that, you're injured, you need to rest, you need time away from the studio. I don't think Emily should have allowed Rochelle to dance because it makes Rochelle's injury even bad. So yes, but eventually they got reinstated, Emily and Michelle, after Miss Angela, the studio head who replaced them after Miss Kate had fired them, after she was trying to take over the studio and she was making it all cheesy and jazzy, and she was showing favouritism of her daughter Lily, and she singled out Piper, which caused Piper's anxiety because Miss Angela identified Piper as the weak link of the team. So, to be honest, I don't think Miss Angela was a good studio head because she was singling out Piper. She was very strict. So, anyway, back to the topic of Michelle and Emily. Michelle and Emily, they led the team all the way to regionals and the team won regionals. But then in season 7, Michelle decided to pursue her dreams of a professional dancer, which made Emily very upset because she's known Michelle for a very long time and she considered her best friend and they were going to own the studio together, but that never happened because Michelle breaking the news to Emily that she's going to be leaving. eventually the friends made up and Michelle left the Next Step, and now Emily is the only studio head of the Next Step. So yes, that was today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me comments and like and subscribe. Thank you. Oh, and also comment any opinions about the Next Step. If you've got any theories, I would love to hear them.